So what will it take for the Packers to win the NFC North? After we see them drop to 2-2, they're 2 games back behind the Vikings right now. A lot of Packers fans I see them on Twitter today. They're very upset with their kicking game. They're upset with the turnovers. They're saying, hey, we left so many points on the board. We gave Minnesota the game. I actually kind of push back on that a little bit. While they did make a lot of mistakes, the Vikings also had 3 turnovers. Vikings muffed a punt. Vikings had an interception go against them that should not have been an interception. Xavier McKinney's in the red zone. The Vikings went for it on fourth down from the 3-yard line. Like, there's a lot of points that were left there too. I think both teams really did a great job of giving up opportunities in this game. But it's very understandable. The first thing that jumps out to me is Green Bay's got to get some kicking game. I mean, Narvison's missed I think in every game this season. He missed 2 yesterday. The Packers have missed a field goal in 8 of their last 9 games. It's crazy. I mean, and then Greg Joseph, the former Viking who they cut, goes 5 for 5 against the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. I mean, he missed a lot of extra points, but Greg Joseph was fairly consistent for us in clutch situations. They got to figure out the kicking game because it cost them last year too.
I think they have to hope at some point Minnesota comes back to reality. Mm-hmm. And Jordan Love just has to be careful with the ball. I mean, last year in those 9 games, what did he have? He had 1 turnover. Mm-hmm. If that happens again, they're winning the division. I think you have to just find a way to split with Detroit, win in Minnesota. Jordan Love takes care of the ball. I mean, 4 turnovers is ridiculous, but he's so good. Just take care of the ball. Take care of the ball. And hope the Vikings come back down to earth.
He wore the Brett Favre jersey, and people were like, "Yeah, you know what? That's a Brett Favre-esque game. The hucking it all over the place.
400 yards, 4 picks, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Take care of the ball, and Minnesota comes back to reality.
I agree that I think the changes are going to have to come from Jordan Love. I mean, the Packers' defense wasn't great, but they were close to good enough. The kicking game, I mean, you're right that it was really unfortunate. It was big, it was flashy, but the kicking game is so random that it's hard to believe it's going to be this bad forever. While they could have put up 6 points due to the kicking game, you have to do better than 0 in the first half. You have to get into the end zone at some point. You can't just let a team of a good defense and a good offense just walk all over you like that. And I think that will improve. I think the Packers we saw in the second half was closer to what they were. But the big thing is going to be offensive consistency, and that's going to have to come from Jordan Love. Again, I think it will. But he's got the guys around him. Jaden Reed is here. He's arrived. Other guys around him, like Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, they're good enough. Josh Jacobs. I know the rushing game wasn't very good this game, but he's that guy. He's good enough for them. They just need to put it together and get into the end zone, like they did against the Eagles, even though they lost, like they did against the Titans, even though that was Malik Willis. And I think with a little bit more time, we'll get there. But if they're able to do that, they've got a chance at the division. But if it takes a while, right? If you drop games to the Rams or the Cardinals or even like the Texans early in the season, you could have a team like the Vikings or the Lions just run away from you.
There's another thing too here. Penalties. They were 28th in the league coming into the game against the Vikings at 9.7 penalties per game. They had another 8 for 68 yards in week 4, 7 in the first half. So that's not just another factor. But yeah, Jordan Love, it's hard to say, hey, can we replicate those final 10 games? But just be close, get as close to that as possible, and they're at another level. Like you
replicated it for a quarter.
No, he did for a quarter. And that's when we said they looked unstoppable for a quarter. All of a sudden, you were like, there's nothing you can do against them.
There are some teams, honestly most teams, where you can say, even if they play a turnover-free football game, they're probably not going to beat you. Green Bay playing turnover free, they're going to beat you. So if Jordan Love doesn't turn the football over, they're one of the better teams in the NFL.
And his knee was still clearly bothering him.
Right, it was his first quarterback.
He's also got to get, I'm telling you, someone said on Twitter, don't tell us how to play football, Paul, but when I tweeted this out, but he's got to go down. I understand that you want to pick up first downs and gain yards, but when he got up hobbling after, I can't remember who he collided with, but just get down. You are more important than that individual play, unless it's for the Super Bowl or a playoff game. Jordan Love's he's got to be smarter with that right now. He said after the game, I hope it'll continue to heal and get better. But at this moment, yeah, it's definitely something that's there regarding how much the knee was bothering him. So keep getting that better. Slide, please. And one last thing I wanted to mention about Green Bay that I haven't really heard many people talk about yet, but the pass rush has to get home. You said it a little bit, Ziggy. You said the defense has been all right. The pass rush, they had three QB hits, 2 sacks against the Vikings. The Vikings had 1 sack, but 10 QB hits. I mean, they were in Jordan Love's face the entire game. They were making him uncomfortable. That was a huge factor. Mm. And when the Packers got to Sam Darnold, remember what happened? I mean, that got them back in the game. Well, what are you hawing? Oh, I thought Ziggy, it didn't sound like Ziggy had like an interjection.
I was just thinking the Packers are fortunate that the Vikings aren't the Saints, because otherwise Jordan Love would have lost his other knee.
Oh, gee, yeah, I know. For real.
With how often they were on him.
For real.
If we had a bounty system, good night, Jordan Love.
Yeah, but it was that kind of a game where he was just getting blown up, and that was a part of the reason he struggled a lot in the first half, where Darnold had a pretty clean pocket. And you saw what happened when you give Darnold time, he can pick you apart. He's a good passer.
And that a lot of the time, I mean, take it from a Steeler fan, it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference in the world. I mean, literally any one of these guys who are playing quarterback in the NFL, besides Caleb Williams, if they have time and a pocket, they will find somebody. But if you get to them, it's all the difference in the world.
They ranked players. This was following week 3. I couldn't find the numbers for week 4. After week 3, they ranked players based on the pressures they were expected to generate over the number of pass rushing snaps they played this year. And Rashawn Gary was 34th out of 71 qualifiers. Preston Smith, 51st. Lucas Van Ness, 61st. And Kingsley, I butchered the last name last time. He was 68th. So you have guys, really, none of them are even playing like... Yeah, Rashawn Gary's the only guy playing above average by one player in the NFL. His pressure percentage is 12.5 right now, I believe, or it's 11.7. The average is 12.5% pressure rate, and he's at 11.7%. Last year, when he got the big extension, he was at 22.2%. So, like, these guys, statistically, they're just not getting there too. It's like you can see it's not happening, but they actually, when you look at the stats, no one's getting home. I mean, they had 8 sacks against the Titans, but they're not the ends are really not playing where you need them to be. And that was a big thing last year. Remember last year when they went on the run, they all of a sudden the defense kind of woke up and they were getting after the quarterback. That whole first half of the season when they were struggling, they couldn't generate pressure. Like, you got to find ways. Like, these guys individually need to step it up.
They got to eat their freaking Wheaties.
Yeah, they got to step it up.
Wake up and eat their Wheaties and get to the quarterback.
When they do, when Green Bay's on, they might be the scariest team in the NFC.
But they're not paying these guys for occasionally great performance. No. They're paying them to be game wreckers week in, week out.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary's on a 5-year, $108 million contract extension.
I mean, if you paid me that kind of money,
you check out.
I can go out there and muster up some sacks. even me being like 5'10", 140 pounds, you give me that bag, I'll go out there and do what you need me to do.
This is why we love you, Jack.
I would do it. I'd find a way to do it.
It's
I think you actually think that's true.
I know it's true.
There's not even a
I'm
panic
also
meter.
faster than Xavier Worthy.
There's not even a panic meter in Green Bay. That we're not trying to draw a panic or anything. We're just saying, like, what to win the NFC North and it'd be a real threat. These are the things that need to improve. Every single team has things that need to improve.
And of course you need to improve when you're down 2 games in the division.
Yeah. So, and I think it'll be a great race. I can't wait to see the Lions, Packers, and Bears and Vikings.
Oh my.
The Lions, Packers, and Vikings battle it out for this. And we talked a little bit about the Bears game yesterday. I don't have many notes on that game. I know we said this was around the NFC North.
Their defense bailed them out. 2 turnovers, defense bailed them out.
Yeah, the defense.
It was Caleb Williams' best game.
It was his best game.
Can we say that?
Well, what do you have, like 120 yards?
I thought he had a little. Wasn't it like 160?
It was like 150, 160.
Yeah. But no, he played fine. You know what it was, Jack? He didn't lose the game this week. He didn't lose the game, and that's what he had been doing the previous weeks. So
I won't crap on him.
No, it's nothing crazy. I
won't crap on him.
But there's no reason to praise Caleb Williams in this game. It's just saying, hey, there's your first step up. You didn't lose a game. It's nothing close to Jaden Daniels and what we're seeing in Washington. But the Bears are 2-2. They're still 2-2. They're the same spot as Green Bay, same spot as if Detroit loses tonight. So
how do the Bears have the same record as the Packers? Just saying that, it's been such a different story for these two teams this season.
It feels
crazy to say. Like, as we talk about the narrative surrounding them and where these teams are, the Bears, it feels like the sky is close to falling. The Packers, we're talking about their chances to win the division.
That
just tells you.
That kind of just goes back to an eye test, and I guess some history as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the games right now, you know, Chicago, unless if things drastically change, which they could, I don't want to rule it out. They're not going to be a playoff threat. In Green Bay, they will be, but that's part of it. You know, that's why you play the games.
Are you a playoff threat?
I'm a playoff threat right now.
Yeah.